Welcome to LewLoose's Watercolors. Today it is a hot 103 degrees here in the American River Parkway. This is where some of the homeless people live. They don't publicly show up during the day, but you can find them in very isolated places. I've had people ask me, why would I want to paint a homeless person? Let me explain the emotion behind this undying desire. About 5 years ago, I was wandering along the American River, walking all over tall grassy fields, and I had accidentally stepped on the foot of a homeless man that was sleeping in the bushes. He sat up and I was startled. I stepped back a few feet and noticed his environment and the calmness of the place. So my first painting was titled Desolate Spirit. Now that the homeless had populated into Tent City, I went to Tent City and spoke with a few homeless people to see how they lived. In reality, they're people just like me and you. And I experienced their raw emotions of anger, pain, and frustration. They didn't want to leave this place they called home. And each person had a different story to tell. I told them I was a painter and really wanted to paint their portrait. This one woman's response was very overwhelming, and she was very excited. So I got permission from them to paint them. This homeless man was very angry and concerned about where he was going to live. He had 3 pit bulls, and they were almost his safety net. You know, having had one dog that was part pit bull, I can kind of understand, you know, why people would not approach him. But he was excited about me painting him. And I just really wanted to capture that emotion that he had, almost having a really lost soul. So here's the painting that I've been working on of him. So if you noticed from this photo, I really wanted to capture his expression and really focus on his face. And I love his hair because it was, you know, black hair and it had kind of grays and whites. And it was really interesting to get the shapes and the direction of his hair. And just getting the contrast of his face, where a lot of this part here has the shadow and then this lighter part on his face. This homeless woman was with the other man that had the pit bulls, and they had lived together in the tent. And what struck me about her face and her emotion was that she also had the same angry look to her. But when I talked to her, I actually got some pictures of her actually smiling when I told her I was going to paint her. So, but that anger in her, that fire, is what I really wanted to capture. So here's the painting I've been working on. of her. So you can see I chose more of a horizontal feel to it, and really focusing more on her face and her hair. Her hair was kind of standing up, which I thought was really fascinating, and getting the cityscape in the background, because this is where I saw her. And so here's part of the cityscape, and then having her face here more on the right side. Different type of composition, but it really shows her emotion of anger. This homeless woman was on her bicycle riding around in circles. When I approached her, she had the same angry, concerned look on her face as the last few that I've spoken to. And so we chatted for a while, and what was striking about her was that she had this strawberry reddish blonde hair. It was almost like orange, very radiant, that I really wanted to capture. So here's the painting that I started working on. This is the underpainting of how I start with all my paintings. It has a very watercolor feel to it. It has the watercolor effect on the underpainting, and then after that dries, I will go back to my second stage of actually doing the individual pointillism dots on top of this. So the second stage is actually adding the dots on the underpainting, and I'll start with this section of hair right there. So I will do that on some of the darker areas first, and you don't want to use a lot of water because then it'll start dripping. So I'll kind of do that on this one section of hair. I painted these homeless portraits for you to actually feel and sense their emotions, whether it be pain, anger, or frustration. And I really wanted to help others that are in the same need. So these paintings will not be for sale. They will actually go to different organizations and actually be viewed by the public. And my thought was actually having a bin that when people come to see these paintings, they can donate a canned good or something that's non-perishable, or if they want to donate monetary, they can also do that too. But that was my goal in doing these series of paintings, was to help others. And I believe that everyone has a gift, and this was my calling, was to help them. Because if I can feel their emotion, I can paint it. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to showing you my next series of paintings.